All right, we're official. All right, so welcome to English 1520. All right. You know, this is a late start class, right? I don't know how many other classes going on right now. I don't even know what day it is anymore, but welcome. Welcome. So this being 1520, right? Is it safe to assume that we're all at least a little bit familiar with D2L? Because
Yeah.
if you're in 1520, then you probably already had 1510 with us, and hopefully your teacher used D2L. All right. D2L is going to be a major component in this class. All right. So if you're unfamiliar with D2L, all right, I'm about to start screen sharing. Just had to close some of these tabs I didn't want anybody to see. All right. So I'm about to start screen sharing. And you can follow along with me, or you can do this on your own device. All right. But if you don't know how to get to D2L, okay, let me just get out of here. All right, I'm at, OCC's homepage. You just want to go into quick links, and then you want to find D2L. And it should have taken you to the login screen. Let me just, because I've been logged in all day. Really, I've been logged in since August. All right, so you just put in the same way you log into your student account is how you get into D2L. You don't need the at student.oaklandcc.edu part of your email. Just the first part, which is your username and then your password. Okay. If you need help, just send me your password and I'll help you out. Social security number too. No, I'm just joking. All right. So just log in and then find our class 1520 1204. All right. And this is it. Right. So if you have not checked D2L, check it. And realistically, I my advice to you all is, um, especially now since we're remote, just get in the habit of checking D2L daily. And really, it's in your best interest to set up your notifications. All right. I've been messing around with the Brightspace D2L app. It's all right, but for me, I guess since I'm already used to it, I just go through a browser on my phone. It's the same thing. But if you do want the D2L app on your phone, it is right here. Okay. Apple users and Android users.
How did you get to the part where it says notifications?
How do I get to the what? To the what?
The part where it says notifications.
Oh, just click on your name.
Okay.
You see it?
Mhm.
All right. So now you can just click the things you want to be notified about. I would, yeah, I would just, well, it doesn't even give you the option anymore. I guess on the app you can get updates via text, but this one you can just
Mhm.
get via email. Now, I will say this: the only ones that you'll actually need are new announcement, maybe announcement updated, and the rest, you can just check whatever you want. Oh, content item created. That's pretty important too. But other than that, if you don't want to get like spammed with emails every time I update something, just click those main three. All right, because it does I do like tinker with D2L quite often. So you don't want to get updates, every time I do something on here. All right. Now let's go into our class. Okay. Just gonna go back to the home page. All right. And this is where, and I'm sure, you've already heard this before if you've had 1510, but this is where I post announcements. Also, once I upload the class, I post messages and the title will more often than not be Zoom recap. And it'll just be like a rehashing of, what was covered during our Zoom conference. Also, if there's been any assignments or things of that nature, and this is also where I will post the class for the day. All right, meaning the recording of the class. So Again, if you ever miss class or you're unable to attend, a Zoom meeting, it's fine. But still just make sure, you check back on D2L, because even if you don't, attend the Zoom meeting, cool, but you're still, accountable for the work. So just make sure you're staying current, with all that this class requires. No, we'll be fine. All right, we'll be fine. Being a college student is really about being proactive. All right. So let's look at the syllabus. Okay, see if I linked that properly. Oh yeah, okay, I did. Now, there's two ways to look at this. All right. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna go to it from the content because that's what I wanted to show anyway. All right, my weeks, they're generic, and 13, 14, 15. Don't worry about those because I know I get with 12 weeks. I'm just gonna get rid of those, but I didn't delete them quite yet because there's some material I want to get out of those modules before I do. All right. But if you're in the content section, all right, yours may look slightly different from mine because mine has all these teacher bells and whistles. All right. So you just go to course information, textbook info. We'll come back to that. Man, I got a few emails about that already. All right, instructor profile. This is just me in a nutshell, like very, very, very bare bones profile. All right. But here's the syllabus. All right. And like I said, there's two ways you can look at it. The first way is you can just look at it, right on D2L. All right. And it's the same material. Or if you want this as a Word document, okay, you're going to go to this little drop down menu next to the title. And this is for anything on D2L. All right. That's, a Word document. You just go to 15, you just go to the title of it, hit this little drop down, and then you want to go download. All right. And then that makes it into a Word document. All right. And that's just how I look at it. Man, kind of miss being in the classroom already, man. And it's unless you're in a class that requires a lab, or if you're in our nursing program, we will remain remote for a winter term. So yeah. All right. So now, okay, my name, Quincy Norwood. Okay. I usually just go by Norwood. All right. I don't want to do that. I'm fine with Norwood. First name is fine too, but people are just more comfortable calling me my last name. All right. My email is here. This is actually my preferred method of contact. You can message me on D2L, but it's actually I prefer email. All right. And make sure you're putting my email address in here properly. Just QTNORWOO and then oaklandcc.edu. All right. Or you can just well, that depends on how your computer is configured, but you can just hold down control and click it. Okay, office location, remote. And if you ever need like I was saying before, if you want me to go over something specifically and you just want to have a quick Zoom meeting about it, that's fine. Even if you are, signed into our Zoom meetings when we're having class, if you just want to stick around for a few minutes to discuss some things, I'm fine with that. So my office hours, normally I'm the Southfield or Royal Oak Southfield is my home campus. And Southfield is where my office is. But since going remote, office hours have been kind of fluid. So if you ever need me, especially when we get into our major assignments and you want to just either have a one-to-one or just like a smaller group conference with you and some other folks, just let me know about it. I'm happy to set that up for you all. All right. So office location, technically Southfield, but realistically just remote. All right. This is all stuff section number 1204. Meeting days and times, technically, we're Tuesday, Thursday, but again, going asynchronous. Asynchronous means that I do have Zoom meetings, but they're optional. But again, if you are not going to be signing in when we have these conferences, it is imperative that you stay current with the material on D2L. And it is also in your best interest. Maybe you have to work, maybe you got called in for a shift that you weren't expecting, but it's in your best interest to, at least if you aren't going to, be signed in for the live class, at least, watch the class once it's uploaded to D2L. All right. Yeah, I have a YouTube channel with like 1 subscriber. So, but it's pretty much all OCC stuff, right? Don't wait to the end of the semester and then like binge watch every Zoom. All right. Here's our workload for the semester. Students will write persuasive and argumentative papers. I don't know what you heard about 1520, but it is all about arguing. Not arguing, all about arguments, I would say. All right. But you are going to be arguing in your papers. Argument, persuasion, these will be our main modes of writing this semester. But technically, when you look at it, most, if not all, forms of writing are, forms of persuasion. Just trying to get an audience to accept an idea. So, and our papers, they'll grow, as time passes. So students will write persuasive and argumentative papers. They will acquire skills in library research and a process that includes critical thinking. Critical thinking, such an important part of what we do as students. All right. But even taken out of an academic context, critical thinking is really I don't know, I think it's foundational to us as humans or as human beings. I think especially now, with all the things happening in our society, election coming up, we got advertisements everywhere. Very important for us to sharpen our critical thinking skills, or at least stay in that critical thinking mindset. All right. So that is certainly something that we will do in this class. And a good argument, it kind of hinges on critical thinking. All right. So process that includes critical thinking, logical reasoning, and the investigation of primary and or secondary resources. All right. Just a fancy way of saying research. All right. Research is going to be critical in this class as well. Students will write a documented academic research paper. Yes, we build up to that, throughout the semester. All right, so that is going to be, our ending piece of the semester, and we will devote a good amount of time to writing our research paper. Okay, what are you writing about? Up to you. All right, up to you with certain caveats. Okay, got to run your topic by me first. All right, course prereqs, English 1510, or may have taken like ESL. I forgot the section numbers. ESL or may placement. All right. Uh, Gen Ed outcomes, critical thinking. It should say critical thinking instead of thinking. Just paste it. All right. And effective communication and information literacy. Critical thinking, we talked about. Effective communication, that's the written word and the spoken word. Okay, I'll get back to that in a minute here. But that is one of our CC, or excuse me, your common gen ed outcomes for this class. And then information literacy. Okay, for us, that means the evaluation of sources. Okay, and I think that's especially important today because we live in the information age. We live in the age of like a 24-hour news cycle. Social media bombards us with news. So it's important for us, as thinkers and as writers, to understand how to discern like what's valid information, what has some valid information, but it's really just an advertisement, and then what is information that's trying to sway me to think in a certain way. So that is information literacy, just this process of evaluating information, evaluating sources. All right. And just to go a little bit into the future, when we write things involving research, our sources make a difference. Okay. Our sources make a difference. So think about, right? Think about the source of your information. All right. And again, I say it's critically important these days with just the amount of information we're exposed to in a given time. And I don't know, sometimes it comes so fast that we don't have time to evaluate. But in this class, we're all about stopping and slowing down and really, thinking about the information that we take in. All right. CCOs or common course outcomes, students will make a specific claim and support it with evidence and reasoning. All right. Students will paraphrase and summarize accurately. A paraphrase, if you don't know, it's really just taking someone else's words and putting it into your own words. But you always need to provide a citation when you when you paraphrase. All right. So we'll get more into that when the time comes. Students will use credible sources. Again, that is key. All right. Your sources can sometimes determine like the validity of your argument. So it's all about using these credible sources. Okay. Credible sources. And we'll talk about what's a credible source and what's not a credible source. All right. Okay. Yeah. Students will use source material ethically without plagiarizing. Okay. When you submit something to this class, it goes through Turnitin, which is our plagiarism checking software, and that is automatically associated with D2L. So make sure you're submitting original work for this class and then all of your other classes. And truth be told, I prefer for my students to choose what they write about, because I like for their writing to be as organic a process as possible. So if you're submitting someone else's work, you really aren't getting anything out of that, because your work, especially with argument essays, it's about this idea that you have, or this point that you want to prove, or you're writing about something that you care about. So plagiarism, you don't really get anything out of that. So don't plagiarize. Always cite your work. Okay. And then on a practical level, it's just with technology, it's too easy to get caught these days. All right. Students will use grammar and mechanics correctly. Grammar is not a huge part of the class. If there's something that we're collectively struggling with, I will go over it. But for the most part, I do have some things that are associated with our textbook, but those are more like self-guided practices. But I don't, grammar stuff, I will have that discussion if we need it. But typically that is more like 1510 stuff. This class, I focus more on like the content of your essays. But again, if we need some grammar stuff, grammar mechanics stuff, we'll go over it. All right. And then students will demonstrate a sense of audience that is appropriate to the topic and the discipline. Our audience right now is an audience of our peers, right? Audience of scholars, right? Audience of thinkers. So, think about that, as you're putting your work together. Okay. Don't assume your audience knows what you know, but we'll talk more about that. Okay, textbook, right? This is where we ran into some issues. Okay. Textbook, okay. They say, I say, the moves that matter in academic writing. If you don't have the book right now, that's fine. All right. But there's a couple of ways to get this book, but I recommend getting the ebook for several reasons. All right. Let me just click this link. All right. So if you click the link on the syllabus, it takes you right to our textbook. Okay. Now, you can get the hard copy of it, okay, but you got to wait for shipping, and you're going to have to, it used to come bundled with the registration code, but if you get the hard copy or the paperback, you have to get the online registration code separately. And we do use the online component of this book, Inquisitive. So here is the physical copy of the book. And this is what I recommend, the ebook, because you get the book and online access to Inquisitive all for $20. All right, which again is relatively cheap. And I'm sure you being English 1510 students, you've been around the block before, so you know how expensive books are. All right, so my recommendation is getting the ebook. All right, one, you'll save some money. Two, it's convenient. All right, and I will I'll just log in and show you what all you get when you buy that. All right. So now I'm logged into my book. This is another textbook. If you have me for 1510, you know what this book is. All right. But here's the ebook, and it's an exact copy, right, of the physical book, right? But this one for me is just it's much more convenient and it's cheaper, right? So this one you don't have to worry about, even though you know we're remote and I'm sure we aren't going that many places, but you don't have to worry about locating your book or whatever. And like I said, this one does have certain enhancements that you won't get in the physical book. So if I just click on it, right, here's one of the enhancements. Okay. Um, yes, you can have the book, read to you. All right, there's one enhancement. And then you can just highlight stuff in this book if you get the digital version, right? And then even take notes. Okay. I don't know if this is a great point. I'm just using this as an example. All right. So I do recommend getting the ebook, all right, for this class. All right. But the physical copy is available. All right. And you can just go right to you can just click. And I tried to make it easy so you don't have to Google or anything like that. Because if you Google this book, it may take you to the wrong edition or it's probably going to lead you to Amazon. But this one, you can get it right from the publisher. All right. And if you get the digital version, it's instant. Once you put in your payment information, then you have the book. All right. And the digital version, or excuse me, the resources that we're going to use with this book are in Inquisitive. All right, and you will need the online component of this book to access Inquisitive. All right, you can access it now. You can just do a 21-day trial, but eventually you're going to have to fork over that $20. All right, again, which is cheap, compared to the rest of your books. The only book that I know of that's cheaper is the book I use for English 1510, which is 15.
I have a
All right,
question.
so get ready for those two and or yeah, 150, $200 books as you get further. All right, so once we all get the book, I will show you all. Actually, I can do you one better. I will make a recording of how to make your account on Inquisitive, and then I will post that on our D2L site. And just to go further, a little bit further with that, I do if there's something that I didn't cover or really just like a short lesson, I just post recordings of those on D2L. And then just also post like little tutorials, like I have one about MLA, just a refresher on how to set up your paper and everything. All right. So that is our textbook. They say, I say, the moves that matter in academic writing. Make sure you are getting the fourth edition. And if you're getting it from the manufacturer, again, just or the publisher, just click the link because it takes you right to the one that we are using. All right. Not because this is like I have this one, but this is a million years old. This is the second edition. All right. But yes, just click the link, shell out that 20. All right. Or you can get like I said, you can get the physical copy, but you're still gonna need the inquisitive, registration. So get that like as soon as humanly possible. We're okay if you don't have it tonight, but or today, but try to pick that up by next week. All right. If you're having any issue, just shoot me a quick email about it. All right. Supplemental materials, things you need for this class. Okay, you need some kind of digital device, computer, tablet, or computer or tablet. I don't recommend you using your phone. But if that's what you have, then that's what you have. All right. Also, if you are in need of a laptop or some kind of digital device, OCC may be able to provide one for you if they have any left. So just shoot me an email, or better yet, or you can email me, but on our D2L page in the announcements, it's this where's this CARES Act thing? Oh, here we go. This CARES Act. All right. So if you are in need of a computer, just shoot me an email and I'll plug you into a counselor. And they'll show you how to get the paperwork in. All right. But if you are gonna do that, let me know about that ASAP, because as of early September, there were some computers left, but I don't know. I don't know what's available now. All right. So if you have that need, just let me know privately by email. All right. But you need some kind of digital device for this class. And just reliable internet, of course. All right. Access to D2L, definitely. And I use Chrome as a browser, and it tends to be they probably updated, but there was a time when Chrome was your best bet with D2L. And then the inquisitive registration code, that's what we just looked at. That's if you purchase the ebook, you're already going to get the registration code. But if you have a physical book, you are going to need that code. If you ordered the physical book and it has not arrived yet, and you're okay with having an ebook, see if you can cancel that and just get the digital version. All right, you'll save yourself a couple dollars. All right, and then Microsoft Word, which is free for students. All right, I know some folks like to use Google Docs. Google Docs is okay for this class, but sometimes Google Docs has like formatting issues.
Yeah.
All right. So I personally prefer that you use Microsoft Word because it makes it easier. And then that's how I a lot of times will give you your assignments back as Word documents. Okay. But if you click this link, all right, it'll just take you here, and you just put in your school email address, and it'll walk you through how to get it on your computer. Now, when you download this version of Word, or version, it's Office. It's Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and all the other ones I can't remember right now. But it gives you the online version of it. So once you open the online version of it, you can keep that. That's fine. But it also gives you the option like install Windows or install Office. Click that, and then it will install it to your computer. All right. But if you're okay with just having the online version, that's cool. All right. But I have a video tutorial of how to get this, on your computer. All right. But again, I recommend doing that. I've been using this very same version for I don't know how long. It's been a long time. All right. I want to say almost since I've been at OCC, and I've been here for a little bit over 10 years. All right. My daughter uses it. I put it on a few computers, right? So it's a legitimate copy. And again, like I said, if you need PowerPoint, Excel and all that, it's in there as well. Okay. Just a word of advice as students. Always look, sometimes you can get free stuff or like deeply discounted stuff, just from using your email address, your school email. So when you sign up for something like Spotify or Amazon Prime, always use a school email address, because you never know. Okay. Maybe I'm just cheap. Okay. No. Okay. Assessment policies and procedures. Plagiarism. Okay. Second time this has come up in our syllabus. Okay. This is ripped right out of the handbook. All right. It is college policy that no student shall engage in behavior which, in the judgment of the instructor of the class, may be construed as academic dishonesty. This may include, but is not limited to, plagiarism. Plagiarism, again, is just passing off someone else's work as your own. All right. Passing off someone else's work as your own, having quotes in your paper that aren't cited properly, using someone else's paper Using like reusing your own paper. Yeah, that's D2L. Once you upload something into D2L, like it's there. Okay. And double dipping is not the business. All right. So data, words, images, or other products without giving credit to the originator, or other forms of academic dishonesty, such as the acquisition without permission of tests or other academic materials and or distribution of the same. This includes students who aid and abet. It made it sound extra serious right there. This includes students who aid and abet, as well as those who attempt such behavior. So if you are, engaging in some academic dishonesty, or you're helping someone engage in academic dishonesty, you're gonna be on the hook, for that. So, I would say just I guess if you're just operate with integrity. All right, operate with integrity. Okay, and we'll be fine. We'll be fine. It's like I teach, multiple sections every semester, and of all those sections, I usually only have to talk to like one to two students about like plagiarism. All right. So for the most part, though, people submit their homework. All right. But again, just know that when you turn something in, it does go through. Turn it in like automatically on D2L. All right. Code of conduct. Some of these I'll skip over because they're more geared for face-to-face interactions. All right, like be on time. Yeah, if you're coming to a Zoom meeting, be on time, I guess. All right. Oh, another thing. Don't if I see you a Zoom invite, don't share it with anybody. All right. And that's not to say that anybody is going to do this, but just yesterday, man, I got somebody like bombed my Zoom class. I had to like kick somebody out. All right. Okay. So spend time, we don't need that one. Demonstrate high ethical standards, absolutely. Keep classroom. This one, keep classroom corridors quiet. I would say, um, I just said, I like an interactive class, and I do. But if you're not, actively participating, just mute yourself because sometimes there's just background noise. Like I have a dog somewhere around here, and she goes crazy every time somebody comes to the door. So just like if you have like background noise and stuff, just mute yourself. But if you have a point to make, you are more than welcome to unmute at any time. Or like I was saying, you can all right, like I was saying, wait, why am I not? Oh, never mind. Okay. All right. So if you don't want to, you know, ask a question, using your microphone, right? You can just, get in here and ask a question using the chat. Just make sure, if you want everybody to see it, cool. But if not, make sure that you are, sending a message to me. All right. But again, like I said, if you're okay with everybody seeing your message, that's fine. All right. But yeah, the chat we can use, or like I said, you can just unmute yourself and then ask your question. That's perfectly fine. Some things I will ask you, once we actually get the class started. Some things I will ask you as a class, and you can just unmute yourself to jump in there and reply. All right. So keep classroom corridors quiet. Just keep your computer on mute unless you're getting involved. Maintain civility. I would say it says while on campus property, but this class, we use the discussion forum. So make sure and sometimes you will have to reply to one another's posts. So just make sure you're replying with civility. Okay, it's fine to disagree. Okay, it's fine to disagree, but there's a way to disagree and still be civil about it. And I know, like in the larger society, we've sort of moved away from that and kind of gone into attack mode. But there's a way to, I disagree with you, but I don't really have anything against you as a person, right? And that's part of arguing, okay, or part of the art of argument. You make a point, I make a counterpoint, and then we keep going. Okay, we keep going, and we let our evidence tell the story. All right. So maintain civility while in the discussion forum. Also, while we're having these Zoom conferences. All right. Definitely this respect differences in others. Harassment of any kind is not tolerated. Okay. That is true. I believe that. Yeah, so far I've only had to remove one person from the Zoom session. But yeah, and that was just a troll that wasn't even in my class. I don't even know how they got the invite. But yeah, just I would say just the same rules would apply, in life. Just be kind. All right, be kind. Refrain. This isn't my rule. Okay, refrain from vulgarity. We're all adults. But at the same time, just be respectful. All right, and then abide by the college's rules and regulations. I guess that's 1 through 8. All right, so that's straight from the handbook too. All right, now the grading policy. Okay, final research essay. Again, that's what we're going to be spending most of our time building up to this semester. We will do, other assignments, but that's our ending piece. Okay. Everything is sort of building up to this. You're choosing what you write about for this. Of course, you and I will have to have a little sit down just to talk about what you're writing about before you get started. But again, I do with this assignment and with any assignment, I want my students to write about things that they care about. All right. So you're choosing this. Just make sure it's something that can be argued. All right. Something that there's actually evidence to support. A rhetorical analysis essay. A rhetorical analysis essay is just what it sounds like an analysis of rhetoric, meaning like we'll take a speech, right, or some piece of writing, right, and we'll analyze. And we're not analyzing to see is this good or is this bad? Is this true or false? Rhetorical analysis is looking at the strategies that this person used in their argument. Okay. Did they rely too heavily on emotion? Is there a logical appeal? Right? Is there an appeal to ethics and things of that nature? So we'll talk more about that when the time comes. All right. Summary response essays, they're just what they sound like too. You get an article, you summarize it, and then you respond to it. And the goal of this assignment is just to help, differentiate between a summary and a response. Also, this is more about critical thinking because now that you summarized, a piece, now what did you think about it? Okay. And just like I said, when I say what did you think about it, we're moving beyond it was good, it was bad, I like this, or I didn't like this. All right, we're moving beyond these ideas of good, bad, agreed, not agreed, disagreed, but um, good, bad, like this, didn't like that. Okay, that's not really analysis. All right, but we'll get more into that when the time comes. All right, research paper proposal. Before you write your final research paper, you're gonna propose that idea. All right, and I will give you the format of that. Okay, discussion forum. I'm not gonna say weekly, but periodically there will be questions in our discussion forum. Some you just have to make a post. Others you will have to make a post and then reply to some of your classmates. All right. Annotated bibliography that goes with our final paper, and that's just your research. All right, and I will give you the structure for that when the time comes. All right, inquisitive exercises. That's what I just showed you. These are the exercises that are associated with our book. All right, and some of these I will give to you individually as practice, meaning if a student is really struggling with fragments, run-ons, comma splice, or things like that, I will say, hey, why don't you check out this and that exercise on inquisitive. All right, just as practice. All right, because again, I don't want to spend that much time on those issues in this class, but our inquisitive assignments will have more to do with MLA documentation. All right, and that is our mode of writing here, MLA. I know some of you may have used APA in the past, or even Chicago style if you're a history person. All right, but our mode of formatting the citation is MLA. All right, and then finally, oh man, don't get nervous, okay? But your final research essay presentation. So I will give you some methods to do that. You can slideshow it. You can record yourself, making a video. Record yourself making a video. You can record yourself delivering your presentation. Actually, we all are going to record ourselves, and I'll give you some different means of doing that. You can use Canva. Canva is just a site where you could make free infographics. Really interesting. So don't be nervous, and I will show you just how to get those uploaded as well. All right, but it counts. Okay, and I have that because I think arguments are often made stronger when the writer knows that they're going to have to deliver them to an audience. Okay, meaning there could potentially be some questions about what you're writing. So it's best in our minds as writers to try to address these questions before they even come up. Okay, so this is our grading scale. These are our assignments. Last time I checked, these did add up to 100. Okay, I'm definitely not a math person though. Grading scale is pretty much standard OCC stuff. Okay. For this class to transfer though, you need at least a C or better. All right. And most colleges, if not all colleges in Michigan, take our 1510 and 1520. All right. The N mark, I'm not gonna read this whole thing, but the N, it just means non-attendance, or some people may say no show. It just means if you don't show up in the first 3 weeks of a class, you'll receive an N mark. But for this, since I think that may have been shorter. It's the first 20% of the class. All right. So for us, N marks will go in October 6th. But if you're here now, or if you signed into D2L, you're okay. All right. Late policy for your assignments. Okay. Late assignments will be penalized by 2 points per day, and I will accept assignments up to 1 week after they are due. After 1 week, no longer eligible for submission. And a lot of times after a week, the assignment folder where you turn them in will not be available. So make sure you stay on top of stuff. If you find yourself struggling or falling behind for any reason, let me know about that. But the time to let your instructor know that you're struggling is not the day an assignment is due. Right? So let's say hypothetically we had an assignment due today. Okay. Don't email me in the morning that the assignment is due, like, hey, no, I really struggle with this assignment. I couldn't, do this, and that. That's fine, but the time to let that be known is a couple of days ahead of time, because if you wait to the last minute, it kind of limits the options of help that you can be offered. So it's don't and, I'm pretty approachable, pretty personable. So yeah, if you're struggling, everybody struggles with something, so it's definitely no shame in that. All right. Actually, in my class this morning, I just had just a quick talk with the student about just not putting that burden of quote unquote perfection on yourself. Because the student was telling me like everybody makes mistakes, and I was like, yes, but we also have to accept that we make mistakes too. All right. So when we say nobody's perfect, we also have to apply that to ourselves. All right. But that was neither here nor there. But no, it was relevant because everybody makes mistakes. So if you're struggling with something, let me know. Okay. I'm happy to help. Okay. Just don't wait till the day of. All right. Things I cannot help you with other than giving you some resources. Procrastination. All right. If you're a procrastinator, all right, like I said, I can give you some resources, but at some point, you're going to have to motivate yourself to get up and, do what you're supposed to do. Okay. Speaking from experience, because I too struggle with procrastination. All right. So 2 points a day, and then after a week, it goes in the book as a zero. Okay. That sounded kind of harsh, but that's the reality of it. All right. Just legal stuff that I have to share. FERPA, per the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, college personnel are not allowed to release students' personal information to anyone, including other students. That means, if someone like a family member or somebody or a friend or whoever, if they, contact me to check up on you, I can't release any information about you. All right. I can talk unless it's another OCC employee, right? That's one thing. But as far as like just anybody, I cannot share that information about you. It's the same thing with email. Please use your OCC email. If you email me from a personal email address, my reply to that is going to be, can you please resend this from your OCC email account? And it's really, it's not me being difficult or a stickler. It just means, it's just like protecting your privacy. All right. So yeah, just make sure you email me from your student email address. That's fine. All right. ADA. If you have, or if you need accommodations, related to your learning, just contact the access office. And again, you can just hold down control, and this is a clickable link. So you just click on that. It takes you right to access. Access, if you're in need of their services, make sure and I know we're remote, but for the access office, make sure you click on, or make sure you contact the access office on your home campus. All right. So like if you're like me, like your home campus is Southfield, click on that, access office. But if you're in, Auburn Hills, make sure you're contacting that access office. Okay. And ASC is the same thing. Every campus has an ASC, or academic support center, but make sure you contact the one that's on your home campus. All right. But all their contact info is here. It's the same thing. ASC, if you want to get set up with a tutor, just click on that and they'll hook you up. D2L tech support. I can handle things like if you need help submitting an assignment and just little things like that. But if you can't log in, you're having problems with your password, that is you're gonna have to call tech support, for that, because I can't alter anyone's password. So if you're having like issues like that, contact tech support. But if you don't know how to get a paper uploaded, that's one thing I can help you with that. That's no problem. All right. So yeah, just make sure your computers are functioning, But really D2L, I'm sure many of you have used it before, but I have, just a series of video tutorials of just accessing D2L. All right. And this is just stuff if you want to run like a system check on your computer. But if you're here now, then odds are your computer's fine. All right. This is just Tower. Tower is just you're going to be using your own computers, so Tower technically wouldn't apply. But if you do get a computer from OCC, it just Tower just means use it how it's supposed to be used. All right, and then Netiquette. No, I go to this thing, but Netiquette is basically be nice to one another. Be kind. All right, proper language. Blah 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 blah. There we go. Read all comments before hitting submit. Read over your, like when we use the discussion post or the discussion board, read over your post, before you hit submit. All right. It just makes a difference. All right. And then you can go through. I mean, you're all adults. You can go through all this. All right. Almost done. Okay. Public safety. We're remote, so I can't imagine what we would need public safety for. Although I was on the Southfield campus this morning. It was pretty much a ghost town. I think the only people that were there were the campus police officers. Okay. Here's our schedule. Okay. Oh man, we have an assignment. Okay. Here we go. All right. So that's the syllabus, in a nutshell. You can go over the calendar yourself. Some of this, the calendar, some of these dates I'll mess around with, but we're at least good for the first we're good through the first 3 weeks. All right. Now, if you look at this thing, this is just, kind of a generic item. I didn't want to put the dates in here because I used the syllabus. I have to use this syllabi for multiple classes. So I just put class 1, class 2, et cetera, et cetera. But here's our reading. Okay. Here's what our assignment is, and here's when it's due. Okay. The due date for assignments will also be put on D2L in reminders. What do we do if we lose power due to a snowstorm? Having a Zoom meeting. Okay, easy. Just find your nearest McDonald's. Use their Wi-Fi. Now, um, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, Eric. Okay, if you lose power, all right. Um, most of our phones, can send emails. So just shoot me an email. Let me know. Let me know what's happening. Okay. Hopefully, that won't happen. All right. I haven't heard much about this winter, but hopefully it's a mild winter. But just because I said that, it's going to be a snowstorm every day, and no snow days, right? No snow days. One thing about being remote, I never realized how much I depend on my job to get me out of the house during the day. I'm like, man, I think I sat in this chair for like 8 hours yesterday just doing class stuff. Okay. Now, my good people, okay, here's D2L. All right. And now I'm gonna go back into content. All right. And again, actually I'm just gonna switch over into student view real quick, just so mine will look exactly like yours. All right. Okay. Couple folks got pictures up. Okay. Now, all right. Content. Okay. Just a couple things. All right. We're in week 1. Okay. Weekly learning guide, just generic stuff. All right. About our objectives for this week. All right. Okay. Now, here's one of our assignments for this week. A couple folks have already been in here, which is cool. All right. I see you, Blake. Okay. Yeah. Glad to be here. All right. 2 wild girls. All right. Cool. I'm a single dad of one wild girl. Okay. He's also in school down the hall. All right. All right. So in the discussion forum, please introduce yourself. Tell us your name, your major. All right. Your plans after OCC. Something interesting about yourself. Okay. It says I will go first to break the ice. All right. And I did go first. It's just I went first in my other classes, but I will definitely put something about myself in this one. All right. But in order to get your post, all right, you just want to go start a new thread, put a title in here. It could be like hello or something like that. And then all right. And then when you're done, you can just hit post. All right. And if you want to reply to somebody else, you can just click on their post. All right. And then hit reply. Okay. All right. Now, you know, in a face-to-face class, we would do something where we kind of got to know each other, but this we're gonna have to do it this way. All right. So go in the discussion forum. Okay. There's 2 ways you can get to it. One, you can just do it from the content, like I said, or you know what? Don't go into the discussion forum just yet. I'm gonna have to make some of these invisible when I go back to the teacher view. All right. So our discussion question is just this introduction, and it's right in the week 1 module. All right. So click on that. It'll take you right to the discussion forum. Then we have a little bit of reading. Okay. If you have the book, right? But our book is broken down into these little sections. So these are relatively short. All right. And like I said, if you have the digital book or the ebook, you can just use that read aloud function and it'll read it back to you. But make sure you have a look at these 3 sections for next week. All right. There's a discussion. Oh, wait. When I go back into teacher mode, I'm actually gonna move this discussion to week 2. So this will be hidden when you all log in. All right. Now, Here is the very first assignment. Why are we doing an assignment on the first day? Late start class. Okay, we only had 12 weeks. Okay, so we don't have those warm-up weeks that we have in a full-on 15-week class. All right, so there's a couple ways to get at this thing. One, if you just want it as a Word doc, you can click on it and the Word version of it. Here's the assignment itself. Here's the article that we're going to be replying to. That'll become clearer once I explain the directions. And then here, this is a print version of the article, but this takes you right to the digital source, if you don't want to use a Word version. Okay, you just collapse this thing. All right, it's going to ask you to subscribe, but you can just collapse it. All right, now, what are we doing for said assignment? You ask. All right, now, starting off with a critical thinking piece. And it's really just a summary and a response, okay? As students, critical thinking is one of the most valuable skills you develop. Simply put, critical thinking is the objective analysis of information to form a judgment. Objective analysis, meaning objective means, just the facts. You're putting the truth out there, okay? And not judging. All right. A summary response essay requires you to think critically about the ideas presented in a text and offer a response to them after you have summarized the author's key points. Summarizing an author's ideas shows that you understood the material as it's presented, and a response shows that you have thought critically about them. Okay. First two goals of this piece: understanding the difference between a summary and a response. Summaries are just the facts. Keep your own personal ideas out of your summary. All right. Your opinions, what you thought about the piece, what you thought about the tone of the piece, what you thought about, what's being said in the piece. None of that should be in your summary. A summary is just the facts. Here are the author's key ideas, and here are how they're supported. All right. So keep that in mind. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. In this assignment, you will be inserting your voice into an ongoing academic discussion as you will summarize and respond to the ideas in Emily Dreyfus's "Want to Make a Lie Seem True? Say it again and again and again." So the article is essentially about how we believe things. If we hear something enough, there's a tendency for us to accept it as truth. All right, not us in this classroom, but there's just something in the human psyche that repetition and familiarity, all right, can sometimes make us accept things as true. All right, that's interesting when you think about it. Like marketers or advertisers and politicians use that skill very well. All right, and that's what the bulk of this article is about. So once you've read the thing, begin by summarizing the author's ideas. State the title and the author of the source within the first two lines. Okay, in any summary. Okay, always mention the title and author. Always, and try to mention that as early as possible. And a good way to knock that out early is in Emily Dreyfus's "Want to Make a Lie Seem True," she argues, and then you can go right into the points that she makes. All right. Also, as you continue summarizing, note the author's key points that support the main idea and how these claims are justified. What examples does she use? What explanations? What details? What research does she bring in? What data does she reference? All right, to support her ideas. Okay, and I think that's why I want us to get out of the mindset of this is good, this is bad, I like this, I don't like this. Look at what's supported. All right, meaning because that's how your readers are going to be interpreting your writing. This is a good point, but now where's the support? Okay, because our readers, we can't just expect them to believe us. All right, so look at the authors, key points. This is also an exercise to get us to understand how our readers are going to be digesting our work. Okay, and then finally in your summary, be mindful to use summarizing language. All right, to distinguish your words from the authors. Summarizing language just means, according to Dreyfus, or the author states, the author notes, as noted in the article, etc. Okay, so the first part of this assignment is to summarize. Well, really, the first part is to read it, to read the article. Then the next part is to summarize. All right. Now, once you're done with the summary aspect of your assignment, now get started on your response. Now, what did you think about this piece? And again, don't fall into the trap of saying, I like this or I did not like this. That's not critical thinking. Okay. This is good. This is bad. We are staying away from these terms. All right. Instead of saying, I like this, I agree when Dreyfus, when she says, right, when she makes this point, and then why do you agree? Give some kind of justification for your, or better yet, provide some reasoning. All right. And that's why I want us to get away from I like this, I didn't like this, or this is good, this is bad. Try to get away from that. All right. Instead, respond. Okay. This is a good point because, right? Or the flip side, I disagree with this because, all right. So we're just sharpening our critical thinking, or we're working on our capacity for critical reasoning. All right. So in your response, use your own experiences. For this piece, experience is fine. All right. But just understand that sometimes your experiences aren't universal. Meaning if I say, there's the law, right? Don't text and drive, or better yet, wear your seatbelt, when you're behind the wheel. If I say to you, well, I don't agree with that because I've been in several head-on collisions without wearing my seatbelt and I'm just fine. All right. In that case, your experiences, you would probably be in the minority, because most people, if you're in a head-on collision with no seatbelt, it's probably not going to turn out well for you. All right. So when I say use your own experiences, that's fine. Just don't make the mistake of thinking that your experiences can be applied universally. All right. So use your own experiences, views, prior knowledge, right, to develop this section of the paper. You may even want to Google some stuff, do some quick research. This one, you just don't have to do any like full-on research or heavy research for this thing. But see what other authors are saying if you want. All right. Also, what did you think of the author's points? Okay. Again, not like, dislike, not good, bad. Agree, disagree, or you can agree with a yes, but, meaning like, I agree, but, okay, I agree with what she's saying, but maybe some of the evidence, could have been stronger, and things of that nature. Maybe the examples, the author uses could have been more effective. All right, so that's up to you. All right. So what did you think about the author's points? What points did you agree with, disagree with? As you present your own views, remember that it is not enough to merely agree or disagree with the author. You must provide good reasoning and or evidence. So it's great that you disagree. Okay. I don't have any position either way about whether you agree or disagree. That's not going to affect, how this thing is evaluated. So as long as you provide like sound reasoning to support your ideas. All right. And then later, when we actually start doing research-based assignments, sound reasoning and evidence. Okay. Your response may also include an assessment of the effectiveness of the text, meaning like you could agree with everything that's said in the article in principle, but you could just have issues with the way it was delivered. That's fine. Okay, that is perfectly fine. All right. So it's like you may just have issues with, yes, this is a great point, but the way it's supported kind of detracts, from the overall meaning. Or better yet, it's a distraction, from the overall meaning of the piece. All right. So that's fine. Okay. Here's our guidelines. MLA formatting guidelines. If you need a refresher or some assistance with that, I do have an MLA module on D2L. All right. And it has formatting, citation, all that in there. So if you need a quick refresher, that's that. And then I also have a video. I have to find it, but it's a video of just me quickly, setting up a paper in MLA format. But MLA format, name, instructor name, class and date, you know, on the left, and then last name, page number on the right. All right. But again, there are examples of this on our D2L page. All right. And again, I'm just going to open this. If you want this as a Word doc to save to your computer, all right, here it is. Okay. And then it has just due dates and all that good stuff. All right. And then here is, this is just, again, I just copy pasted the article into a Word document. All right. This one, okay, if you go all the way to the bottom of this handout, this does have proper in-text citation. So if you do quote the article, this is going to be your citation. Just the author's last name in parentheses. No page numbers, because our article does not have page numbers. All right. And then this would be on your works cited page. Okay, you can just paste this onto your works cited page. All right, it's already formatted in the way that you need it to be. All right. And then, like I was saying, if you click this, it just takes you to the online version of the article. All right. And when you're ready to turn that thing in, click right here. Okay. I guess I should. This is just very quick. I have another video of me going through this process, but I will show you all how to upload your assignments really quickly here. But again, like if you've already used D2L, which I'm sure many of you have, since this is, you know, comp 2, you probably already passed through comp 1. But just to refresh, just come all the way down. And then where it says submit assignment, you just want to go add a file, upload, and then I'm just going to put anything in there. All right. Just find where your assignment is, though, on your computer. All right. And then here's your assignment. And then you just want to go add. Okay. Wow. All right. If you want to leave a note, that's fine, but you don't have to. All right. Maybe there's something you want me to know about your assignment. That's cool. Just you know, let me know in these messages, and we'll work it out. But when it's all said and done, you got your assignment ready to go. Bam. Hit submit. And that's it. It's already submitted. So once you turn this in, once you hit submit, you can just hit done to exit out of this. But once you hit submit, I already have your assignment. Okay. It's already in my folder. Okay. So once you hit submit, and you used to get an email confirmation, but I think they may have changed it. But yeah, once you hit submit, your assignment is right here. You can just click on this and it takes you right back to your assignment as a Word doc. Okay. And now, okay, this is the final thing, and then we can call it a class. Um, if you need some quick guidance on crafting a summary response essay, just click on these slides. Okay. And this is basically how to, you know, what's in a summary, what's in a response. And again, just to reiterate, the main thing you need to remember about summarizing is there should be none of your ideas in a summary. All right. Summary should be in your own words. Okay. Don't copy from the thing, from the source. Summary should be objective. This is what I've been getting at this whole time. Don't include your own opinions, ideas, or judgments in the summary. Okay. A summary is just, you know, what happened. What's that article about? That's it. Okay. I know you all have great ideas and I know you have things to say, but make sure you put that in the response. Okay. Summary should definitely be shorter than the original version. All right. and make sure you capture an author's main idea. Okay. And then, title and author of the piece you're summarizing. Okay. And there's more to this, but here's how, you put it together. You can begin with an intro. And it's just like I said, where you mentioned the title and author early on. In the article, How Fake News Breaks Your Brain, author Ben Penko argues that information overload via social media and diminishing attention spans are responsible for the spread of fake news. Okay, should be is responsible, but um, make sure your first line is something like this. This way, you've already included the title and the author, of your piece. All right. And then make sure you're using summarizing language. All right. Summarizing language again is, the author notes or according to Dreyfus. All right. And unless you know an author personally, don't use their first name. Okay. Some people say, well, Emily notes. Like, you don't do that. Okay. Just keep it all right. And then, all right, this is just summarizing versus analyzing. All right. And then here's how to analyze. Okay, here's how to summarize. All right. Oops. Uh, Critical thinkers, you're free to agree or disagree with anything that you read. Don't just think you have to agree with something because it came from your teacher. But if you are going to agree or disagree, provide good reasons. Again, we're not about I like or I dislike or this was good or this was bad, right? We're all about applying our critical reasoning, to the things that you read. And you can have, sentences like this in your response. While I agree with Panko's assertion that fake news is most likely to be spread via social media, however, he underestimates the power users have to control what they see in their feed. All right. So if you disagree, and then if I was to continue writing this, I would just keep going, with my explanation. But again, just make sure, you're providing solid reasoning. All right. And then this is just some more stuff about writing a response. So this material, if you need a review of that, is right here in this week 1 module. All right. So make sure you have a look at that. Okay. Now I know I just threw a lot of material at you in a short amount of time. I totally get that. Any questions for me? Okay. Okay. So here's what you are accountable for next week.
Yeah, only a little bit. Only a little bit. Because I'm looking for hair. Yes, sir. Come with me.
No, sorry. I was gonna say I was waiting. Like, is that a question for me or no? It's fine. It's fine, man. Kids, love them. Okay. Kids and pets are always welcome. All right. I just got my doors closed in this room because my dog is being extra needy right now. All right. So here's what you are, and again, once it takes about like 20-30 minutes for Zoom to convert these videos. So once it's done converting and I get it on YouTube, I will recap like all of this in a Zoom, or excuse me, in a D2L announcement. But for our next session, all right, here's what you're accountable for. 1, go in that discussion and introduce yourself. Okay. 2, okay, this summary response essay. Okay, that's the main thing. Okay. Oh, I forgot to say, like, minimum of 2 pages for this assignment. Okay, minimum of 2 pages. All right. And here's the MLA stuff. Okay, MLA documentation resources. All right, here's a video, the MLA formatting video, and here's another, just a Word document. And I actually have more that I will upload there. But getting that practice of, properly formatting your papers. All right, so we have the discussion question, the summary response essay, and if you do not have the book, try to get that as soon as possible. And if you have not purchased the physical copy yet, it's to me, it's in your best interest to get that digital version. Okay. Now, if you prefer a book, that's fine. All right. But if you really don't have a preference, save yourself some time and save yourself some money by, getting that digital version. All right. Questions for me? Okay. I am available by email. All right. So just let me know. If you have questions, like I said, I'll try to be as personal or as personable as possible. And I'm certainly, willing to help, whenever um, things are or whenever help is needed. All right. I am looking forward to getting in that discussion forum and getting to know you all as best as I can, via remote learning. Okay. Last chance. Final question. Okay. All right. Well, it has been nice, having this first meeting.
I have a question.